Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Mars.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
This is Conversations with Mars.
Lab Addicts Music
You know what
Group.
time it is? This is Conversations with Mars. Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Mars.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
This is Conversations with Mars.
Lab Addicts Music
You know what
Group.
time it is? This is Conversations with Mars. Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Mars. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Mars.
What's goody? What's goody?
Addicts Music Group.
What's
This is
good?
Conversations with Mars.
It's Friday night, and this is Mars After Dark. Mad. And that name, Mad, kind of explains tonight's conversation. But before we go any further, I got to give thanks to the Most High for allowing me to see another day, another sunrise, another sunset, another day to love on the people who I cherish. Hope everybody had a good week. It's time for the weekend. I'm not sure about you, but it is freezing where I am. It's freezing. Shouts out to everybody watching on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and most definitely the people right here on YouTube, the Moss Pill family. But unless you've been under a rock, then you know what's been going on the last couple of days. You see the thumbnail. We got two big dudes about to fight on, two big old dudes about to fight on YouTube. And we're going to talk about the whole conversation tonight. A lot of people have been talking about it. But I want to know how you all feel about it as well. And I'll get around to how I feel about it, how I look at the whole situation. But, you know, I had to put my little comedic outlook on it. Two fat ninjas about to fight. And depending on whose side you on, kind of correlates with who you would say won the argument. A lot of people are saying that it wasn't a debate, it was an argument, but a debate is an argument. So it was a debate. Granted, high spirited, not really topic based on what they were talking about, but it was a spirited debate. And they were there to talk about political things. If you've watched Anton's show, I watch it from time to time, but lots of his viewpoints I don't really agree with, and some of his stances, which was highlighted in his conversation with Corey Holcomb. Now, the argument devolved into a conversation on masculinity and what people allow to be said to them. Now, granted, Corey did tell Anton that he's an ass kisser. Camille, what's going on? Corey did tell Anton that he was an ass kisser. And in all my life, I've never had anyone to say that ass kissing was something that could be strewed in a homosexual terminology. I've never heard anyone say that an ass kisser was something of a homosexual term or anything. Now, in my life, I have seen people fight about telling another man to do something in their nether region. Slurping. People have been killed over inviting another man to their man region. We know this. This is common sense conjecture that has been in the culture since I was able to comprehend right from wrong. So it's my belief that Corey was finessed. Anton finessed him because Anton knew that with his security, armed security, that even if things were going to get somewhat physical, really nothing was going to happen because Corey security and Anton security wasn't going to let them combat. So Corey let the conversation devolve into a position where he was in a lose-lose situation where if he fights that man on camera, he feeds into the narrative that some black men can't resolve conflict unless it's mutual a fight. And Corey was in a losing situation because if he doesn't respond, people are going to say, as much as you talk about the backdooria culture and how you disdain it, you're not a part of it, that you let a man come on your platform and tell you to that you slurp men, black people, I mean, can't be construed as a woman because women don't have penises. So basically, he went on Corey's platform and finessed him into an argument that he knew he was. I mean, the only thing that could happen with Anton going on Corey's platform and standing up to Corey is he's going to gain followers. And if Corey was to put hands on him, he would probably sue Corey. So Corey's kind of put in a lose-lose situation. And this comes on the heels of Corey being sued because his former co-host beat up Ari Spears on camera. So knowing these things and knowing, and Anton is a smart guy. We're not taking anything away. He's a smart guy. But he went in there knowing what he was going to do. And the thing about it is, a real general wouldn't give his strategy after a presumed win. Now, Anton has, since the show was over and he stormed off of the set. Now, before we even get to that point, the argument started when Anton told Corey that he slurps the man regions of black people, which Corey very demonstrably corrected him. Now, to the people that say that Anton won the argument, Corey told him, if you really want me to show you that I'm not playing, then say it again. Tell me that I suck dick again. And I don't think Anton said a word that begins with a D the rest of the time he was on the show. Now, if he was the tough guy that he is putting himself out there to be, he would have said it again. Because if you really want to see if he's going to do something, then say it again. And like I said, Anton didn't say dick, dumb, D. He didn't say a word that began with D the rest of the time that he was on that show. So, did he back down when Corey said, say it again? Because there are people that are saying that he stood on business by his actions. But I'm saying that Corey stood on business by saying, if you really want me to show you that I'm not playing with you, then say it again. And Anton didn't say it again. And in all these conversations that he's been having after the fact, where he's been calling Corey gay and said that Corey was shaking like a stripper and basically demeaning him. I'm not sure what happened. My camera went off. Hold on, y'all. Okay, there we go. Not sure what happened. He was attempting to get a rise out of Corey and put Corey in a no-win situation. And he achieved that. He achieved that. But how he is, I guess you can say it's gloating, is that's not how a winner acts. I mean, I guess, it's the internet. Do what you do. But that's not how, and to say that you had an agenda when you went on there, if I had an agenda and I went on somewhere and I achieved the agenda that I wanted to, I wouldn't come out and say, yeah, I had an agenda. I was going to put that man in a situation where he was going to lose however he responded. But Corey did the mature thing. Now that Corey has done the mature thing, Anton is saying that Corey was scared and he would have beat the brakes off of Corey. But if you look at the video, Corey is loud, but he didn't change octaves. And things that I don't want to get into, but yeah, the way that Anton responded, that needs to be studied. That needs to be looked at. Because there's lots of accusations that be thrown out there. But I'm a person that looks at mannerisms. I look at mannerisms. Some of those mannerisms were different. I'll leave it at that. But I think that Anton has put himself into a corner with the gloating that he has done after the fact. After the fact that you said that you had an agenda, you finessed the win, and hey, a win is a win. But all the stuff that come on, man, you're not a tough guy. You don't even come across as a tough guy, man. I got people from Detroit, everybody, and I know some tough people from Detroit, and I wouldn't say that Anton comes across as a tough Detroit person. Looks are deceiving. He could be tough, but I know tough people from Detroit, and they don't look like Anton. Then that's not to say that he's not tough, but now all of the rhetoric and you would have whooped Corey's ass and I would have done this and I'd have beat the brakes off of him and he's gay and I went on his platform and I demeaned him on his platform in his face. The next time you see that man in public, face to face, you're going to have to stand on that. You're going to have to stand on all of that stuff that you're saying now. You're going to have to stand on that. But I don't know. Maybe you won't cop please. But you're going to have to stand on that. Maybe I won't cross paths again. Maybe I won't. But some of that stuff was overboard. Some of the stuff that has been said after the fact is overboard. And to Corey's credit, he hasn't really responded. Craig Fax, his co-host, has been responding, and he basically explained the whole play. Anton ran a play on Corey. I don't even think that Anton genuinely wanted to have a debate. I think his main goal was to go on there and to turn up. I think that was his main goal. Security is one thing, but armed security? Armed security. Security is one thing, but armed security to go to a talk show? You're not even a superstar like that. You're not a superstar like that, man. Armed security to a pod. I mean, I guess things have happened to people with podcasts, but unless you had the intent to go there to do something, to turn up, to do something to require armed security, I mean, that's the only reason that you would take armed security is if you had bad intentions in your visit, which, I mean, after the fact, you've already said that you had an agenda and you finessed that win. We're not going to take the win away from you because you won. And I'm not even going to say you won. I'm not going to say you won because I think Corey won with the mature response of, well, not even that. I think Corey won the argument for the fact that if you really wanted to scrap, all you had to do was say it again. You said it once. Say it again. And like I said, Anton did not say it again. I don't even think he said a word that began with the letter D until he stormed off of the set. But yeah, the stuff that he has said after the fact of, he's gonna have to stand on that. It's gonna have to stand on that. That's the only thing is, sometimes, in perceived victory, sometimes people go overboard. And I think it's been overboard because if you have watched Anton when he was talking on his panel, when he was saying, everybody on that panel was looking like, okay. I don't think nobody was saying, yeah, you right. Nah, man, you did. You. Everybody on that panel when Anton was like, there were things that they wanted to say. I don't think they. Well, the guy that was in the corner did say something. I think it just got to the point where he had to be like, come on, man, you got to explain. Yeah, but everyone that was on that panel with him, nobody big up to him because sometimes you win the battle, but you lose the war. And I don't think this is over. Craig Fax has already said that he would like Anton to come back and really have a debate. I don't think that Anton would take that invite. We'll see, because he said he's pulling up on everybody. Anton is a tough guy now. But I don't know. Space and opportunity. But how do you all feel about it? I mean, I put the poll out and I said who won the argument, and basically everybody said Corey won the argument. There are no votes for Anton. And I think it's immature for 40, 50-year-old men to be trying to fight online. I just think it's kind of corny. That's kind of cornballish. It's really cornball for There's enough of that the young people fighting on the internet. We do not need 40 and 50-year-old men. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see two black men well off, not with the need for anything. They're both basically paid. They both have money. I don't think, but one thing I've learned about this YouTube space is, nobody wants to You can be cool with people, but everybody wants your spot. Whether it's a little spot or a big spot. Everybody wants your spot. And people will do, I'm not going to say unethical. People will do lowbrow things to attempt to take your spot. But I think that in the aftermath of all this, Anton has shown himself to be a hypocrite. He was saying that Corey was a hypocrite on the show, but I think that what has come out is he's a hypocrite just in his actions and saying that, I'm not a fighter, I'm do this, I don't. He used the Republican playbook on Corey. He used the Republic. I'm gonna throw some rocks. Then when you come back and put hands on me, then I'm gonna say, look, see, he called him a Neanderthal. He said Corey and the people who think like him are Neanderthals. You're not even a human. He said that the people that talk and think like Corey are Neanderthals. You're not even human. I think you got 20 chromosomes as a Neanderthal. That was low. I'm a man and you're a Neanderthal. But the man was inviting the Neanderthal to fight. So I don't understand this hypocrisy in that. Now he's fading everybody. I mean, dang. Even the dude that beats everybody up doesn't gloat about beating everybody up. It's just known he beat everybody up. I kind of frame this as, you've seen a fight and the person that was supposed to win, or the person that was bigger, or the person that usually has won fights and stuff like this, they might have slipped on a banana while they was throwing a punch or something, and been exposed and then get clocked. And then the person that won the fight be like, I told you, man. And people will know, like, man, nah, man, you got that because you finessed him. He slipped on that banana and you caught him. That's how you won that. If he hadn't slipped on the banana, I don't know. But then the next time they fight, ain't no bananas around. Ain't nothing to slip on. Everything's fair game. And then the person that did all the talking and I whooped him then they get laid out flat. We've all seen that. Maybe y'all haven't, but I have. I've seen it happen. But I hope that, it doesn't come to blows. I hope that it doesn't. But all of this talking after the fact and name calling and Yeah. Corey Holcomb hasn't even said anything yet. He's just letting Anton do all the talking. Sometimes you talk yourself into a corner. And there's no way to talk yourself out of it. Even the best orators have made missteps and said the wrong things. And they've had to bite the bullet for that misspeak. But, hey, to the winner goes the spoils. But, like I said, it's a self-proclaimed win. Because not in those conversations, hey man, you didn't say it again. You didn't say it again. He invited you to say it again, and you didn't say it again. I'm stuck on that. Everybody's talking about, well, Corey didn't go outside. Well, he didn't say it again either. I think he knew. Yeah. I don't want to poke the bear too many times, because the bear claw might come out and smack me with that big old hand. Because if he said it again, then it was all it was up. He didn't say it again. He had multiple chances to tell Corey to slurp a man again. He had many chances to say it again, and he didn't say it again. So you cannot just gloss over that. Hit the like button. That's how, man, hit the like button, share this video out, subscribe to the page. I think a couple people did not like the Drewski videos that I put up and showing the preacher cursing in the pulpit. A couple people lost my subscribers. Got a couple of negatives on those videos. Yeah. People don't want to. That's getting off the subject, but yeah, people don't want to change their convictions. But yeah, how do y'all feel? YWG said he's a stupid star. Damn, YWG said Corey said he didn't have no security. He had his buddies. He said Corey didn't have security. He needs some goons. Anton is internet tough. Yeah, he's internet tough. He's real internet tough. Right, YWG. He didn't say it again. Damn. Nobody is afraid of a 5'2" melon head runt. Damn. Yeah, he didn't say it again. He didn't say it, He didn't say it again. He could have said it again. That's like, it goes back to the playground again. Say something else about my mama. Man, your mama, it's time to fight. I told you. Yeah. Come on, Anton knows this. Say it again. He didn't say it. Yeah. I know you wasn't gonna say nothing else about my mama. So this win that he says he has, I don't agree with it. He stood down. Stand down. He stood down. People are just glossing over the top, man. I don't understand how people are just letting that go to the wayside just because he said, come on, let's go outside. No. I've already told you. Say it again. And he didn't say it again. He shut the fuck up. So, yeah. I disagree with everybody saying that Anton won the argument. He finessed. That he did do. And he's said as much after the fact. But to say that he won the no, we wouldn't. No. 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 Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Say it again. Say it again. And I'll take it even further. Menace to society. Kane, where my money? And what did that man say to Kane? Suck his D. And what did Kane do? Say it again. And the dude on Men's Society said, I said, before he could get it out, plow, 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 plow. Some stuff you don't say to a man. Some stuff you don't say to a man. Man, you say you don't, I say whatever. Nah, that's a person that has no discernment to say that I'll say anything to anybody. That man, Anton, you don't have any discernment. You got to read the room. Some stuff you don't say. You don't run in a crowded room and yell fire. You don't do that. Yeah, everybody that repeated it again when they say it again, they got dealt with. You didn't say it again, you didn't get dealt with. Yeah. I'm not going for the play. I'm not going for the finesse. Not over here. Not over here. Yeah, you didn't say it again, brother. I just given 2 examples of men telling a man to slurp their man region, and the person said, say it again, and the consequences of saying it again. And you didn't say it again. So you didn't get the consequences. You stood down. Y'all say Corey stood down. I don't say Corey stood down. I say Corey stood on business. Say it again. Now, that's my outlook. That's my opine. That's how I see it. You went to the ledge, but you didn't jump. You went to the ledge because you thought going to the ledge was going to get a reaction out of Corey. No, Corey said, jump off the ledge and then I'll show you. And you didn't jump off the ledge. So that's how I see it. But I just don't really, Craig Fax has invited Anton to come back so that they can continue the debate. But just all the rhetoric that he's been saying, I don't think that those 2 men can be in the same space, because all of the rhetoric that he has said, and he might still be running the play. He might still be running the finesse, because he really seems like a dude that if Corey put his hands on him, he might sue him. He might sue him. Yeah, say it again. Yeah. He's the 3rd example. He said Corey was like Pinky. Say it again. They didn't say it on Friday either. And they didn't get the wrath. Yeah, man. If you don't say it, then yeah. You say it, you get the say it again, you get the wrath. Say it again and you don't say nothing, you get grace. That's how I look at it. I don't know how y'all look at it, but that's how I look at it. Corey stood on business. Say it again. Anton didn't say it again. And I've just given 4 examples. I gave 3 examples, and YWG gave another example. Pinky on Friday, say it again. And Mike Epps and Ice Cube, they didn't say it again. 2 examples on each side of people who said it again and what happened to them And the people that didn't say it again, they got grace. You got grace, Anton. You got that grace, and now you running like you got the win. You got a fake win. That ain't no win. That ain't no win. The people that grew up in the hood and didn't move to the suburbs, we reject that, man. We know what you did, brother. Now, if you grew up in the suburbs all your life, you might look at Anton like he won. You might not. But those who had grandmothers in the hood and we used to go to, we know what you did. You ran the finesse. Put that man in a no, but you put him in a no-lose situation, but he backed you in the corner. Your own words backed you in the corner. Say it again. You didn't say it. We're 40 minutes into the show. If anybody agrees with me in my assessment of the situation, please stand up, speak up. That's just how I see it. Man, somebody may say something to make me question. I doubt it. Because I'm always going to go back to he didn't say it again. People are just glossing over that, totally just glossing over that. I don't understand it. How can you totally just gloss over say it again? He didn't say it again. Yeah, this is Friday night. This is Moss After Dark. Mad Moss After Dark, Friday nights, 11 o'clock. Yeah, you don't tell a man to suck your dick. That's a no-no. In every hood across America, in every suburb across America, I don't know. White dudes joke like that. Hey, suck my dick. Black dude, we don't joke like that. We don't joke like that. That's like frat boy humor. Nah. We don't. Some stuff you don't tell another man. You just don't. And for Anton to say that he doesn't, if you've been fading the way you say, we fade all the time. I fade my nephew, I fade my brother, fade my uncles. Everybody's fading. We just have fades. And you don't know that telling another man to go to your nether regions is a bad thing. You lying. It's a hypocrite, man. No. You can't say on one hand, man, we fade all the time. We fade. If you fade all the time and you got uncles and you got father and you know that you don't tell a man to go to your man region. You don't do that. This is fighting words, and to some people, they killing words. Now, the people I'm not going to say that they're, and none of the stuff that I'm saying, I don't agree with, but nah, you can't. Nobody likes to fight. I mean, there are people out there that like to fight, but nobody likes to fight. I don't think that, most people don't wake up saying, I want to fight today. But when you tell a man to go to those are fighting words. You knew this. And for you to say, I don't have, man, that's a man. You have no discernment then. You have no discernment if you say that you didn't know that telling another man to go to your man region was bad. I'm not sure what's going on. Something's going on with I don't know. I'm not sure maybe somebody hacked into the computer. I don't know. Something's going on. But yeah, any man Any man knows that you don't tell another man, a heterosexual man, you don't tell another heterosexual man to go to your nether regions. It's common sense. But common sense ain't common. And some of the stuff that Anton says is yeah, I don't agree with it, but yeah, the finesse was on display in that conversation. The finesse was on display. And those of us who don't mind confrontation know when the finesse is on. Yeah. That was a finesse. That was a play. That whole scene was a whole play. And for the people who don't see that play, I mean, I can't explain it to you. Some things you just have to be able to see. And it can be explained to you, but yeah, that was a whole play. His intent was to go on to, Anton's intent was to go on to Corey's platform, make him look bad, and take his viewership. That was the play. Go on that man's platform, put him in a no-win situation, take his viewership. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But you never know. People are fickle. People get mad about the simplest things. People get mad about serious things. And to tell another man to go to your man region is a serious, that's challenging a man's manhood. And a lot of Black Americans, FBAs, indigenous people, whatever you want to call yourself. Yeah, that's not a play thing. Like I said, all through middle school, high school, I've seen many fights about somebody telling somebody that. So that's kind of I don't think Anton even had he was feeding a narrative. He was trying to feed a narrative. He wasn't even, there was no points, there was no argument. He was feeding a narrative. He ran a whole play. But yeah, us over here, we reject that, Anton, because you didn't say it again. You didn't say it again. You went to the ledge, but you didn't jump off. Because you thought if you went to the ledge, you was going to get the reaction that you wanted. And when Corey didn't jump up to go outside, you wouldn't go off the ledge. Say it again. So while people say that Corey he snapped, I don't think he snapped. Because you meet disrespect with absolute disrespect. Yeah. Because if you tell me to slurp your man regions and you let me come in your personal space and you don't do nothing, you stood down. Because I mean, if you say that to another man, you should be prepared for whatever comes next. So when you said that and you allow Corey to get in your personal space, you said he tried to man up on you. He manned up on you. I don't know what that's the if that's not manning up on somebody, I don't know what manning up on somebody is. You said something ridiculous. He came in your personal space to see if you were going to stand on what you said, and you back down. And then he gave you another chance to stand on what you said. Say it again, and you didn't say it again. So I look like look at everything. But your intent was to get yoked up in there. That was your intent, to get yoked up in there. You wanted Corey to yoke you up. No, I look at things differently. Yeah, because if you don't if you come in disrespectfully, then you must be ready to fight. But you say you was ready to fight, but you weren't ready to fight. That was a lot of posturing. Because if it's on, it's on. Yeah, it was a lot of posturing. It was a lot of posturing. Because if I say something crazy to somebody and they come in I'm putting my it's time to go. It ain't time to go when they get to you. If they come in your personal space, that's the response. That's the response. And your intent was to be disrespectful, so you say something disrespectful, somebody's gonna get in your face. You're gonna smell it like Pimp C would say. You're gonna smell my cologne, player. And I'm pretty sure you smelt Corey's cologne. And he invited you to say it again, and you didn't say it again. And that's my viewpoint. That's how I look at the whole situation. So all this grandstanding and posturing, and you're gonna have to stand on that, player. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that Corey got some goons that don't nobody know nothing about. I'm pretty sure. But now you gotta, man. I don't know. All this talking after the fact is overboard. It's overboard. Some people were saying you won, and now you just running it, man. Stand down, brother. You don't keep poking the bird. You didn't poke the bird. You didn't poke the bird the second time when you was right there in the bird's face. Don't be poking. Don't be poking from outside the cage. Don't be poking from outside the cage. And that's what you're doing now. Now you poking the bird from outside the cage. Birds, elephants, they got crazy memories. They remember them pokes. But it's neither here nor there. I just hope the two brothers can come to some type of resolution where they can just agree to disagree and stay away from each other. I think that would be a good thing. Some people just, everybody ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't for everybody. And yeah, it's just how I look at it. It's just how I look at it. Yeah, some stuff you just you take whatever you take and you walk away. Now you posturing, now you tough guy. Come on, man. Come on, Anton, man. You don't even come across as a tough guy, man. Yeah. There's some other stuff that I want to say, but I'm not gonna say it. There's some other layers to that onion, but some stuff just don't need to be said. This your boy Maz. I talk about what I talk about, and I say what other people won't say. That's what we do over here. That's what I do. I kind of look at stuff from my point of view and tell you how I see it. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right. But I kind of figure I'm right tonight. Yeah, that was the whole play. You got that off. But the gloating, all the extraness. You didn't read the room when you was talking to your panel. They weren't bigging you up. They weren't. They were basically they were trying to mentally tell you, chill out. Chill out. Because usually on your panels, there's talking, but people jump in and say stuff, and I watch your shows, and so I know there's a lot of talking over top of people sometimes on your panels. And that panel was 9 people, and it was just you talking for about 20 minutes. Nobody said anything. Nobody chimed in. Nobody smiled. Nobody said, yeah, you right. You did that. Yeah. Nobody said anything. They just listened and let you run it. Yeah. They didn't big you up, brother. They didn't say anything. Because deep down inside, they knew that the men on the panel knew, because they was looking like, man, buddy, you really didn't win, man. They weren't looking at the screen with the look of, yeah, you won. Oh man, you did. No, they was. So yeah, brother, go back and look at that, man. Man, I hope there's a resolution to this whole situation. I hate to see older black men arguing and fighting. There's nothing wrong with arguing. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. But when it gets to the point of name calling and disparaging someone, that's where I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree. I hope that cooler heads prevail. You never want to see 2 men of means physically fighting over intellectual differences. Everybody's different. We all have different viewpoints. We all have different outlooks. But we need each other. We need these conversations. We need these conversations. We need to be able to come together as black men, and we need to be able to have conversations, even if there is no agreement. In the end, I think that we are better for having had those conversations. I think we're better. The general public is good when they get that information. And I think that it's good that the conversation didn't turn physical. I know I've had this conversation tonight, but I'm glad that the conversation did not turn physical. And yeah, people have to agree to disagree. I mean, that's life. You're not going to agree with everything that everybody said.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
But there's no need to be disrespectful. It's most definitely not cool to tell another man to slurp your nethers. That is a flag on the play. 99% of the times when you say something like that, you're going to get the reaction that you wanted. I'm glad that you didn't say it again. And with that being said, it's myself. This has been After Dark Friday night, every Friday night, 11 p.m. We will be here to discuss something crazy that happened during the week. Everybody have a good weekend. I'll see y'all Tuesday. I'm out.
Lab Addicts Music Group.